So just a quick overview. We've been evaluating franchise locations according to the interest that's been expressed. And so I just want to review with you exactly how this works in order for you to do a complete evaluation of an area. And we have some other more powerful tools coming up. But this one in particular is just a real quick way to get a gauge on an area. So let me give you a quick overview. Let's do Troy here. So Troy is an area of Detroit. What you do is you just select on the territory that you're interested in looking at. Now, these maps are only accessible by franchise candidates. So if it says not accessible, you need to register, and you simply go up and register. I'm currently logged in, so I have full access to the members dashboard, but you'll have to log in to see this map. So in this case, Troy has a demographic that's pretty attractive, and I'll tell you why. I look at the total population. So inside a 5-mile radius is really our zone or selling zone. It has a population of 288,000. And then the other thing we look at is the number of businesses inside that zone. So here we have 18,000 businesses. It's hard to believe, but that's a lot of businesses in a 5-mile radius. Now this data we get from the LoopNet, who's an authority. I have an example here. This is actually a part of Florida, but we were looking at this property for a possible location of a franchise. They have a ton of information whenever you're looking at their property. You want to definitely get an account at loopnet.com so that you can track what you're looking at and also be sent alerts when there are some properties opening up in your area. But here again, this is another area that we're looking at. You can see the population here again is very attractive inside the 5-mile radius, and the number of businesses again is very high. So we look for between 2,000 and 3,000 businesses, and this is well above that. And we also look for a population of 50 to 100,000, and this again is above that. Those are all good qualifiers for a good area. So again, two major things to look at are the population inside the 5-mile radius and the total number of businesses. You can also look at the income and age distribution, which are some influencers as well. Higher the income, obviously, the more disposable cash is available for your services. The higher the age, the more likely that people will use services versus someone who's younger has a tendency to want to do it themselves. So let me pop back over here to Troy and get out of this stat. So now I want to show you how to look at our map that we've built here and explain it a little bit. This shaded area is the 5-mile radius. What you want to do is very simply go through this list. When you hover the mouse over this column, you can scroll up and down very easily. And you'll see all the categories of businesses that exist in this area. For instance, candidates that are good for services are dentists and doctors and accountants and lawyers. So let's go down here and actually look at a grouping here. So let's say lawyer. So you simply click on the category and the map actually goes out and searches where all these businesses are, gives you a total. This is called a cluster. So in order to see the cluster, you just click on it and it will actually zoom in, and you can actually click on each individual icon for that particular person. Here in this case, Jeffrey Frank. There's several ways in which you can actually look at those people or those lawyers in this case in your zone. You can do it this way by the map. Simply manipulate around the map. Again, if you zoom out, you'll get it turning into a cluster. Or you can go down here and look this way. A couple of things that I want to point out. If you click on the name itself, that will pop up here in the map. You can actually go immediately into a Google Maps link for that particular business. But what you're trying to achieve by clicking on all of these categories is to get a gauge about how many candidates for your services there are in this area. Another way you can go about and evaluate these categories of potential customers is click this More button here, or you can scroll to the bottom of your list. Again, you have to hover the mouse in order to do that, and click the More results here. When you click those buttons, what will happen is it will open up Google Maps, and you'll be given the opportunity to see more than 20. All that we list here in this map are 20. So if there's more than 20, it will indicate that right here where it says 20. And then if you want more, click the More button. So here we are, lawyers. Now I want you to pay attention to the zoom level, this 12, because if this moves to a higher zoom level where it's zoomed out, then that would mean that there aren't as many lawyers in this area. So let's go ahead and do this. So 1 through 20, I'm still at zoom level 12. 21 through 40, still zoom level 12. See, we haven't moved the map's position. Do you notice that? It's not zooming out yet. To get more, here we are still at 61 to 80, 81 to 100. Now we're actually moving, it seems a little bit. It's still zoom level 12. And now it's moved to zoom level 10. So when I've made it to 100 to 120, that's when it needs to zoom out in order to see more lawyers in the area of Troy. So that's a good illustration of how to use the tool. Let's just do it one more time here real quick. For some reason, we seem to sell a lot of dentists, so let's look at some dentists. So I'm going to click on dentist, and again what will happen is it will tell you where all the dentists are in clusters in this case, because we're at a 5-mile zoom or 5-mile radius at a zoom level. I have about 11.5. Again, the way you find out is who all these dentists are is simply scrolling through the bottom list, clicking on the name for that particular dentist to appear, and he's in a zoom level. Let me zoom in here a little bit. There he is. Sometimes you'll have to zoom in, but there he is. And if you wanted to look at his particular information, you could click on the Google Map link, and that's where you get a lot of details, including how to drive to his location. There's a lot of information you can get here. So we also have the phone number. I can tell you this, you can also click on this phone number. So let me just go into More. So when you click on More, and if you have Skype installed on your computer, you just click on this phone number and it will open up Skype and call that person. Any kind of phone agent that you have on your system, it will actually initiate when you click on phone. So that's a really neat feature. You can actually also go to the prospective customer's website. You can look at their Google Map link, which I showed you. And here's a really neat feature. It shows the distance from your location. In this case, this is the made-up location in Troy that we're evaluating. It would show how far away this particular office is from that location. So pretty powerful. Once you learn how to use it, you'll be able to really gauge your areas and gauge your locations. Once you have selected an area, maybe through using LoopNet where you found a location, just simply send us that location's address. It would be at the top of the LoopNet location or somewhere in this copy here. once you've selected that, go ahead and send it to us, and then we'll make you up a map. We will include it in the franchise website, which is clickitfranchise.com. So it's easily accessible by you. Again, it's only accessible by franchise candidates. So once you've sent that to us, give us a day or two. We'll have a map for you, and then you can go in here and evaluate the area as I've demonstrated to you here. So hopefully that helps, and looking forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.